Well, this is exciting. Hello, Lord Christus.
Hi, Jake.
So here's our story. Um, the person who is supposed to be presenting right now is not here. Okay? That's the bad news. The good news is I can't think of anyone better qualified to talk about how gift has affected their life than you, Lord Christus. So I know you didn't prepare anything. I apologize. I didn't know this was going to happen, but can you just share a little bit of your story about how we met and what has happened to you since then?
Okay, I think that'll be very good. Thank you,
First of
Jake.
all, tell everybody who you are and where you are.
Very good. So this is Lord Christus from Ghana. Yes, currently I am a mining maintenance engineer, but I didn't start at that. I just started as a young person, just like we're having on board. And the whole story, I think that's an interesting story, and everyone would love to hear this. So this is Lord Christus, and in 2010, I started my interest in engineering. I started building things and putting things together. But my main challenge was that I didn't have anybody to support me. I didn't have anybody to encourage me. And everybody around me, my family, my friends, and everybody was just discouraging me and saying, hey, you just have to stop playing with rubbish. You just have to stop playing with boxes and trash. Just get serious and start your books. So everyone was just discouraging me, but I knew what I was up to. I had an intrinsic desire for engineering, but I was limited. I mean, nobody was encouraging me. Nobody was providing resources. I was really limited, and life wouldn't have been fine with me. So I kept searching and searching and searching for help and people, at least to just encourage me. I wasn't getting. So I sent lots of messages, lots of mails to so many people I found online, and none of them responded to my calls until one time in May 2019, I happened to meet Jake, and we didn't meet in person. It was actually an e-meeting. I was introduced to Jake by I think it was a society in the United States. I wrote a letter to one office, and then they said they cannot help me, but they know somebody that can help me. So they sent me Jake's mail, and I texted him. I think in less than 24 hours, he responded to my mail and even gave me his contact. So he kept motivating me, and even to a point, he sent me some books to read. And later, he sent me a lot of items, a lot of circuit parts to start building things. Not only that, he actually introduced me. I think this is a story maybe Jake has forgotten. He introduced me to Steve Mendelsohn, and we started putting together some mathematics, and we started learning a lot academically, and that really helped me. So in 2020, I happened to join Gift. I think that was the first gift, if I'm right. In May 2020, I joined the first gift, and I was the first presenter on Gift. So I proceeded through, and I think throughout it, one time I built a humanoid robot, and that was supposed to be testing people and their temperatures before allowing access into any office or any room around here. And unfortunately, I went to school and came back to see my parents had broken into my room, taken it out and burnt it to ashes because Africans are really people with a lot of spiritual mindsets. And Africans really believe in spiritualities. And so they thought that was an idol or a demon. So they just burnt it to ashes. And it was a very big challenge. I was traumatized. I shared the message with Jake. One thing Jake said is, hey, never stop. One thing I remember he said is that he said, your goal is not their goal. So their mistake shouldn't affect you. And he gave an example of a pianist who was in the United States that she trained more than 5 hours each day. So I think all of these things really encouraged me. And since that time, I have joined Gift for more than 8 times. And sincerely, the truth is, I wouldn't have continued my journey in engineering because everybody was just discouraging me. I wouldn't have continued because my family and everybody just said, stop wasting your time. So Jake became the pillar and is still the pillar of this role where I am, of my position now, of my place in life now. Because the only thing that would keep me going was that I needed somebody to tell me I was doing the right thing. And there was nobody in Ghana to do that. The only person that did that for me was Jake. He sent me a lot of messages, always encouraging me. A lot of things he did. I'm not sure I can recall everything, but I can say this without doubt. I can say this proudly that where I am now is because Jake supported me. It's not really about money. People might be thinking that for you to be having a lot of support is about money. It's not really about money. But I think there's something that is bigger than money. That is to have people who you can feel that their hearts are with you. And I think Jake is a person who really support lots of young people with his heart. So Jake, thanks for that. And I know one time one of my kids will be called Jake.
No, no, I didn't want this to turn into a Jake celebration. That wasn't the point of this. Um, However, one of the things I would like to make people aware of is that many times we have these presentations and we have students building, for example, robots, and they're building them and they've got robot kits. Or we had a presentation yesterday earlier, and the students had a real industrial type of robot, and it was very impressive. Lord Christus made devices out of things that he had around, scrap wood, right? You would go to a junkyard and take wires from things that people had thrown away, a cardboard. Um, you don't have to invent stuff with a lot of money. You just need a lot of creativity and desire. Would you like to talk about where you got your parts and how you got your ideas?
Yes. So I had a lot of ideas. I think I had a world of ideas, but I was limited. I didn't have the resources. So what I did was to be going to the supermarkets around, taking the old boxes, just cutting them into pieces, and sometimes going to the refuse dams, taking some styrofoams. Everything I used was directly from trash. I mean, it was dirty. I just had to be sometimes cleaning. Sometimes you see a very nice invention that really smells bad because I took everything from trash. So I mean, but one thing I can say is that I didn't have any confidence to speak in public. Even to present myself, to introduce myself was a big challenge. But after joining Gift, upon the several times, sincerely, I didn't have a strong internet. So how I joined Gift, I had to find some boxes, like sometimes about 10 boxes, and then set my phone somewhere on it so that it can point at my direction and take a video of me. And I send it over to Jake. I have to sometimes try about 20 times before it works out. And now I don't have to be struggling to speak in public. I just have to go anywhere I want, and then whatever I'm supposed to say, I say that directly. And let me talk about the public speaking skill I have gotten out of Gift. Now, here on Gift, you have to present your invention, you have to present your idea, you have to defend it. There'll be a lot of questions that the host and the co-host will be asking you, and you need to defend this. Now, defending my projects, defending my invention all the time, trying to talk about it, it builds some level of proficiency in me. It builds some level of strength in me, speaking in public, defending myself, trying to let people know who I am, what I do, and everything. So that skill, it's one of the greatest pillars holding me now. Because as I'm working currently as a mining maintenance engineer, currently on a Newmont site, and Newmont happens to be the biggest gold mining company in the world with a leading production of gold. And Newmont's biggest site that produces a lot of gold here is in Ghana, and that's where I am. So I can say I'm actually working with Newmont, especially at the area that seems to be like the heart of the company. And I am the only one that defends the project that is a structural integrity corrosion control project, that is asset management. And this is a very complicated project. You have to be defending lots of things. We have 5 things to defend. You have to defend the safety of your team. You need to defend your integrity and the integrity of your team. You need to defend your responsibility and that of others. You need to defend the side of sustainability. And the last one, you have to defend your team in everything around the side. I mean, that's not really easy. So sometimes imagine having about 10 board of directors and a young person like me. Sometimes it's not really easy, but I always remember I can speak. So I think my ability to defend a project is really what has led me here. And that ability, I built that on Gift. So currently I have been able to lead a team. Now, let me say something. When I joined Gift, I realized that everything in me, even if it doesn't look nice, it can be refined to become better. And so I have been able to lead my team with confidence, the confidence I had from Gift. I've led my team for about 3 years now, and we have recorded 50,000 man hours accident free. That is zero accidents, zero fatalities, zero first aid injuries, zero medically treated injuries, zero property damage, zero downtimes. And that's real story. That's a real history. So we are making history here because the confidence we built on Gift is taking us there. We are able to defend the project, even when it gets difficult, to confront the people, the team we are working with, to let them know that this is what we are doing. We need to do it this way. I mean, it's all actually making a lot of things for us here. And so I know Gift is not a person, Gift is a whole society. So I think if Gift was to be a person, I'll say thank you, Gift. But I can say thank you, Gift, and I'm really excited to be here. And now the people, I mean, the family members, my relatives that discouraged me and told me I was building out of trash, they now look at me and then they are happy. And then, I mean, funny enough, they are also enjoying from my pocket. And so I can say that whoever comes on Gift, don't just take it as an opportunity to just come and play around. No, take it as an opportunity to sharpen your sword. And I know you'll go out there. You don't have to create an excellent invention. My inventions were just trash and smelly. And I know that Gift will provide you a platform to build yourself. And one day, those that once thought you were just misbehaving or just wasting your time will celebrate you. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Don't go away, Ord Chris, as you're staying here. But I would just like to add one more thing, and you mentioned it briefly. There are many places in the world and many people who do not have very good internet connections. And in fact, they may not have any internet connections at all. And what you did was you would record little segments, 15, 30-minute seconds, segments, and then send them to me, and we would paste them together to make an entire presentation. So you want to just talk a little bit about how you did that because you didn't have great internet?
Yes. So I didn't have a great internet, and then the phone I was using didn't even have a good camera. So I think if you look at the video from the first gift, you can see my camera was very, very bad. And so I didn't even have a tripod. I didn't even have any camera stand, something to hook my phone on. So the same boxes I was using to build those inventions, I needed to sometimes stack them over, just like sometimes 10 boxes, and then find something like a piece of wood or something just to hold the phone on the boxes just to get the videos in pieces, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and it wasn't easy. I think one time my phone just dropped off the boxes, and it wasn't easy. I told Jake about that. Jake, I was making a video, my phone just dropped, and for about 2 months, I didn't have any phone to use. I think the journey wasn't easy at all, but we still went through it. Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is great. This is very good. You're now going to be part of a permanent gift testimonial. But the good news is our next presenter is here, and let me promote them. And this is Isaiah, and he is coming. And Lord Christus, I'm going to just sort of stay in the background. You're going to be in charge now. So you introduce Isaiah and have him begin his presentation.
Wonderful.